this video, I'm going to be taking you through a full week of running, workouts, gym stuff, the runs, rest days, the lot. But before I do that, I just have to state that this is a week in my training life, not every week. Every week looks a little bit different, and this week specifically is my first normal week back into what is my typical routine most of the time. I'm easing back into that post-Houston Marathon, which, if you missed it, you can watch it up here. So I took a little bit of time off. I then always do some easy running weeks before I get back into structured training, which is what this week was. And I'm gonna be focusing on half marathon and 10K work as I get into this block because, well, that's what I'm doing next. I will be able to share more about that in the near future, but first, let's get into the week. She started off on Monday, as all weeks do. And if you think the week starts on Sunday, just stop watching, please. Like, what? Come on. I'm joking. Don't stop watching, but the week starts on Monday, okay? Monday is my least favorite day of the week, in training and in general. If anyone has cracked how to make Monday not their least favorite day of the week, please tell me how. But to make Monday a little bit easier, it is my easiest and shortest day of the whole week. So I'm not going to exert myself too much, and typically when I take a rest day, it'll be on Mondays, but this week it was on a different day, which I will get to when I get there. So yeah, Monday was a bit Monday-ish. My legs tend to feel a little bit sluggish on Monday after the weekend. Friday I usually have a workout, Saturday I have gym and a run, and then Sunday I have a long run. So 3 kind of hard back-to-back days leaves you feeling like you need that short, easy run on a Monday. Let me just find the data. What was the date on Monday? Oh yeah, it was the 5th of February. The weirdest thing happened halfway through this run, okay? I met a guy in the middle of the park filming me with the smallest, coolest drone I've ever seen. Well. What do we have here? What are you doing here? Vlogception.
Whoa.
We have a new toy that we're testing out on today's easy run. Have genuinely not used this yet. It's fresh out the box. HOVERAir have sent us a pocket drone, and they also happen to be the sponsor of today's video. So should we see if it flies?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Standard. Follow.
Hello. Should we go for a run? Come on then. Just over 6 miles for that run, 45 minutes. My average pace for the run was 7:21 minute miling or 4:34 minutes per K, and my heart rate was a nice average of 136, which for me tells me that I was chilling and taking this run easy. That's so cool. I feel like I have a little friend following me along. That's pretty neat. I feel like we should name him. Yeah. I've decided it's a he. I'm gonna call him Horace, the HOVERAir. I'll tell you a lot more about this later on in the video. We're gonna take it through its paces. And if you wanna check out HOVERAir, the link is in the description below. Thanks guys for sponsoring this video and for my new toy. I'm very excited. Straight after this run, I did 6 by 100 meter strides. I didn't film these strides because the weirdo with the drone had already disappeared, but they looked a little bit like this. That adds on about half a mile with jogging and walking to recover in between the strides. Now, these 100 meter strides aren't sprints, but they're an acceleration of pace. I probably started off at just below marathon pace for the first stride. The first stride always feels horrendous, by the way, but by the 6th one, you usually feel a lot better. You've warmed up into that form and fast style of running, and usually I get close to 5 minute miling for the last of these strides. I've done strides on a Monday after my easy run for a long time now, and it can really help you improve your form over time by practicing that kind of perfect running form. It can improve your stride length and your cadence, and it can also form part of speed training. Even though they're quite chilled, you're taking a short recovery and you're only doing 6 100 meter strides. It's not like it's a crazy workout, but it still drips into that training effect. And then I had me a hot bath, which might sound a little rogue, and I know that the trend at the moment is ice cold baths, but I'm having hot baths straight after my run, 4 to 5 days a week at the moment, to see whether I can do a little bit of a cheap at-home heat acclimation challenge. I'm probably going to go into more detail of this in a video of its own, but I'll leave it there for now. If you'd be interested in a video about this, let me know in the comment section below. And then on Tuesday, I had my first double day of the week, 2 6-mile easy runs. And for the first of these 6-mile runs, the one I did in the morning, I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to run with the definition of professionalism, speed, and talent? the Irish record holder over the middle distances, and the 4th fastest 1500 metre runner in the world. Well, wonder no more, because that's who I ran with on Tuesday morning. I give you my good friend and training partner, Kira McGeehan.
It's a beautiful day. Do you know, cycling home from uni face. I've got a special guest today. Mate.
Shells. This is what running with Kira McGeehan is like.
We have found a bird's nest.
Oh, nature.
Love it. A beautiful morning for a beautiful run. Gorgeous. When I got here this morning, Kira asked me what face would I pull if I was riding a bike right now. Bike ride, home from work, in the rain, it's this. That's it. Actually, that's my running in the rain face too. Oh dear. Top tip for runners, caps are for the rain. Caps are for the rain. This is true. You can have all one for free, folks. And then there was one, just adding on my last little wee mile to bring us to 6. Man, does a run go quicker in miserable weather when you've got some real cracking company. Thanks, Kira, you legend.
She really is a legend. My favourite runs are with this girl, so go give her a follow. She's down here on Instagram. So I didn't want to take the drone out today because it was so windy, I was worried for its safety. But I'm really excited about using this new HOVERair drone in these vlogs. I'm so impressed that this thing can literally just follow you around on the run or whatever you're doing without being controlled by another person. It's called the HOVERair X1 pocket-sized self-flying camera, and as I mentioned, is also the sponsor of today's video. And I'm really excited about using it in a lot more of our videos because it is so easy to use. It takes off from the palm of your hand, and because it's so small, you can easily take it with you in your pocket, in your backpack, wherever you're off to, and whilst you're out running. Now, whilst I'm very lucky to have Daniel with me filming and getting different angles a lot of the time, this is going to make filming when I'm solo so much easier. And I think a lot of people will find that this bit of kit is going to remove that blocker of how do I film myself when I'm on my own and running or doing any sport for that matter, and being able to get lots of different perspectives. Now, you can choose to control it from the app on your phone, but the different flight modes and takeoff can be operated directly from the hover with a push of a button. There's 5 different flight modes to choose from to cater for all the different shots and angles that you want to get, and I'm really impressed by the quality of this footage. Huge thanks to Hover for sponsoring today's video and for giving us this awesome piece of kit. Go and check it out for yourselves by clicking the link at the top of the description below. So with the first 6 mile easy run done in the morning, I've then got 6-7 hours to recover post that run before we're going out to do it all over again. But why? Okay, why am I doing 2 6-mile runs? Why don't I just slam them together and do a 12-mile run and have way less washing to do as a result? Well, that would be a long run for starters. 12 miles for me is where long run criteria begins. And when you're out for that length of time, you're training a different system and it's harder on your body. Once you're over an hour and 15 minutes, your body's working harder because it has to run for longer, even if your pace doesn't change. But by breaking those runs into 2, you then get a decent amount of recovery. In the summer, that could be 8-9 hours because we've got daylight for a lot longer, or if you want to choose a treadmill in the evening. So it allows you to put a little bit less strain on your body but still have the same amount of mileage. It's a bit like saying, well, you run 100 miles in a week over 7 days, why don't you just do that all at once? Because that's an ultra and that would be disgusting. So run numero 2 was a lot less fun because it was on my own and it was in the dark, but we got it done. And on Wednesday, it was workout time. My first workout post-marathon back on home turf.
What you got in today then?
Got my first sesh back post-marathon. It's a classic first session back. We've got a fartlek, 5 sets of 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And I think the recovery is 90, 60, 90. So 90 after the 3, 60 after the 2, 90 after the set into the next one.
Nice.
No pace expectations, just getting the legs moving. First one back, probably won't feel great, although I have the capacity to surprise myself. But also I just don't want to go crazy today because it's just about, getting the first one done. First bit of intensity back, first kind of normal week. It'll be a great fun time.
So I got warmed up. Typically this is a 20-minute jog. Today I did 2.83 miles to be specific. Same pace as my easy runs, keeping it nice and chilled, just warming the body up, not thinking about pace at all, making sure that I can hold a conversation, and we're just going for a nice jog. A few drills, leg swings, and a few strides to then ramp up that warm up. You'll notice that from a jog to leg swings to strides to drills, we're upping the intensity and getting closer to what I'm going to be doing in the session, running at speed and getting quite tired. And then we got cracking with it. It was just me, so I had coach all to myself on the bike, and we decided to do the combination loop, which is a lap of the track out and then a lap of the park, which is roughly a mile. And we did a fair bit of dog dodging this day. It was quite a busy day in the park because when it's not raining in Stockport, everyone goes outside to make the most of it. But that made for a good distraction. The first session back can sometimes be met with a little bit of nerves. How am I gonna feel? Am I gonna feel really sluggish and really tight from not doing a session in a while? How much fitness have I lost from this time I've taken off? I tried my best to squash all of that because those are very natural, normal feelings, but they're not helpful to the session. And I reminded myself that the objective of today was just to get a session done. To elevate my heart rate in those reps, to get my legs turning over, to remind myself what a session feels like, but this is not meant to be my A-star session. We're not setting the world on fire. I'm not at peak fitness, and it's just getting back into good fun sessions. And I think I locked into a really nice, roughly threshold pace for all of these reps. Typically throughout the session, the 2 minutes would be a little bit faster than 3 minutes, and the 1 minutes, again, a little bit quicker. Some of them varied a little bit depending on how many dogs, children, bikes I had to dodge. And then throughout the sets, I got quicker as well, which was a natural progression. Again, we weren't thinking about pace today, just feeling the session really. I will say the last set on the track was a little bit too fast on my part. Yeah. We decided to stay on the track for the last set because the park was so busy. But the side effect of running on the track is that my brain goes, oh, we're running on the track. This is where we run really fast. I just overdid it a little bit. That wasn't necessary for the first session back and probably a bit too much of a risk in the sense that it's the first session. Let's keep it chill and not hurt ourselves. Bad athlete. That last set that was probably a bit too fast, I was probably reaching a little bit, is probably responsible for why I look so stiff at the start of this cooldown. My left leg is flailing outwards and looks like it's a plank of wood. It gradually loosens up, but I felt very stiff and a little bit battered after this, which is totally my fault, and I hold my hands up for that. Thankfully, I was able to lug my legs around a 20-minute cooldown, which will help them feel better the next day. And then in the evening, not a double run, but a double in another sense, I had my gym session. And this is a new gym program. I did it for the first time on Saturday, the week previous, and this was the second time doing the new gym program. And my legs are so deconditioned from the gym. We've not been in there since the first week of January. I've not missed DOMs. What's really cool is that all of these exercises are specifically created, well, they already exist as exercises, but they are specifically in my gym program to hit weaknesses that I have or areas that I want to improve on. I've had a bit of a hip glute thing going on for a while. I'm doing a lot of single leg exercises anyway, but a lot of them will isolate that area and focus on the muscles around the hip, the glutes, to get those super strong so that hopefully I'm not experiencing that pain or tightness on my runs. So the leg press, I split stance, so I'm isolating one leg in that. I split stance my trap bar deadlifts. Some of the core exercises he's got me doing are horrendous, with a capital H. But I did really enjoy this. Even though that my gym is like a jungle in the evenings, I could hardly walk by the following evening. And I know I have promised a gym workout video for such a long time. I am gonna do it, but I'm trying to get a gym space that we can use so that we can film without loads of other people doing their workout around, because I don't think that's fair on other people, and I would love to be able to talk you through the exercises whilst I'm doing them in a space that's just for us to make the video. So watch this space. On Thursday, I had a 10-mile run with my favourite human again. Sorry, Daniel. Favourite human to run with. Thursday was a very soggy, very miserable, disgustingly wet and windy 10-mile run in a literal storm. With Kira. Thank goodness I had great company, because I would have hated this run otherwise. So another easy run done. 7:34 minute miling this time around, or 4:42 minutes per kilometre. Slower than my easy runs earlier in the week, but with a higher heart rate. Could that be the wind and ice rain? Yeah, probably. Average heart rate of 143. Maybe increased by stress and fear that all of the trees were gonna fall on me. Probably a bit dramatic, but also true. And then after my run, I got changed and I put on some non-running clothes. Say what now? We decided to take the rest of the day off, which we never do. We don't really have weekends or days off. We're kind of always working. Even if we have pockets of time here and there that we're doing other things, we're working in the evenings, we're working in the mornings, but we decided that Thursday was a non-working day. So we had date day, went into Manchester, I got my hair cut, did a little bit of window shopping, we had some food, and it was just a really wholesome time. I think we should do it more often. I think everyone deserves to take time off, and as self-employed people, maybe you just have to think a bit harder about forcing that to happen. Otherwise, I don't know, it's easy to just work all the time, especially when you love what you do. So the scarring experience of the weather in the north on Thursday meant that Friday's session was on the treadmill. I also didn't want to be slipping and sliding on the Middlewood for this high steady run, and with it being my second workout back and overdoing it a little bit at the end of Wednesday's session, we thought, let's go on the treadmill, complete control. I sit it at the pace that I need to run, and I run that pace. I had a high steady run on Friday, which is kind of a pace in between marathon pace and steady. You're kind of zone 3, zone 4 range. It feels considerably easier than marathon pace, but it's a nice way to get a good chunk of running in, slower than tempo, slower than marathon pace. I'd say like a medium to hard intensity. I actually felt really good for this one. It was only a 5-mile high steady, and back in the marathon block I was doing 10, 12-mile high steadies straight off. So it was reduced in volume, but that's because I'd only had one day in between my 2 sessions, whereas normally I'd have 2. Again, this week isn't about any heroics, it's just about getting a little bit of intensity in and ticking off getting back into the sessions. So 5 miles at 6:04 minute miling, or 3:46 minutes per kilometer, and I love running at this pace. It's like comfortable, but you're working hard, but you feel good because it's not that hard, and yeah, I think high steady runs are really fun. They're a great way to improve your endurance over longer distances, but without the kind of stress of a long tempo straight off the bat. You can ease into them by doing shorter distances and then build them up to longer distances. I think they're a great kind of early block type session, so the first few weeks of a marathon block, or even like I'm doing now, half marathon and 10k. I just enjoy running at this pace. It feels good. My average heart rate for that one was 152, which again, I'm pretty happy with. That's not crazy high by any means. With just a 2-mile warm up and 2-mile cool down, Friday morning was only 9 miles, which is kind of short for me. But I did have a run again in the evening. Just a 4-mile easy double this time around, and just kind of shaking the legs out, getting the session out the legs, getting any stiffness out, and therefore I ran a little bit slower than some of my other easy runs. It was also dark, and yeah, it was raining again. So 7:52 minute miling this time around, or 4:53 minutes per K. But I really enjoyed this run, like getting out in the dark with my head torch on, running around some random pond when everyone else is heading out for their dinners or Friday night antics, and I'm just there happy to be back to double running. Some people might think that's really weird, but I love it. And again, a really nice way to increase your volume, adding in a little shakeout, 3-4 miles the evening after a session in the morning, or vice versa, is a really nice way to just bump up your volume, but without too much difficulty. Now, I really was spoiled this week because on Saturday, I had a rest day. And I get these planned in every 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes I'll take some unplanned ones if I feel like I need them, but I can't remember the last time I had a rest day on a Saturday. That feels like a real treat. So we decided to use it as an opportunity to see family that we often don't get to see because we're so busy. So I went and had lunch in Cheltenham with my sister and brother-in-law, because it's kind of a halfway meeting point for us. Did some window shopping. I also did some actual shopping, because I got these cute little sheepy boots, little sheepy slippers, the comfiest things I have ever put on my feet, apart from really good running shoes. The comfiest non-running shoes. Wouldn't recommend running in these, but lounging, yes. And on Sunday, disaster struck. Bum, bum, bum. I had a long run to do, 14 miles, and I realised that this haircut might be not a mistake. Maybe it's better for post-running Philly. If that's ever a thing. Even once I've retired, I'm still gonna run, but yeah, this hair, it kind of sits forward. The wind, it does the opposite. Yeah, I mean, you can see for yourself.
So I guess this is what my hair's gonna look like if I don't wear some sort of a headband to hold it back when I run. It's just gonna go up and outwards. I may have made a mistake in terms of best hair for running in. Maybe this is a retirement haircut. Ah, well, it'll grow back.
So despite the hair discovery or misdemeanor, yeah, it was still an awful run. This was just one of those days where I just felt crappy for different reasons at different points in the run. The start was up a literal mountain. So, okay, we stayed overnight in Malvern with Daniel's aunt and uncle. So the first mile was into the town centre. It was like this. Like this. So that was painful. I then probably felt pretty good from about miles 3 to 7. And then after that, I didn't. Just felt really bloated and my stomach didn't feel great. My legs got really tight towards the end. My glutes were screaming at me. And I just think that's the culmination of my biggest week back. 2 sessions, 2 gym sessions, a rest day the day before, which, yes, rest days make you feel better, but the next day, sometimes you feel worse. And that doesn't make any sense, but it happens. Never fear, I got it done. Yes, I moaned inside my head the whole time, which probably made it worse for myself, but hey, here we are. 14.66 miles. Heart rate still was pretty decent, average 140, which is a good sign of some underlying fitness. And average pace of 7:23 minute miling, or 4:35 minute per kilometre. Which rounded up the week with a grand total of, let me just check, of 70.09 miles. Right, I'll convert it to kilometres. 114.1 kilometres. So wins of the week, back into sessions, back into gym. Ouch. Increasing the mileage week on week, and also learning that there are things that need working on. My fitness isn't where it was a month ago. Shock. I've been recovering from a marathon. I'm accepting that detraining is also part of being able to peak. You have to come back down so you can build that fitness higher and higher. Rest days sometimes make you feel worse. You should take time off, and if you use that time off to get a haircut, make sure that it's practical for your lifestyle. Yeah. Just to clarify, I do love it. I really do like it. Running just doesn't. Love the grind. Oh yeah, love the grind, mate.